Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to Idiot. And I have very exciting news. I just received a bunch of copies of my latest book, my third book, What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Hotter. It's so crazy to actually feel the book and hold it. For those of you listening, that's my new book. Really wild. I've put so much work into this book over the last 4 years, and it's finally here. I mean, it comes out on July 14th, and today it's July 6th. Probably by the time you hear this, it'll be next week. So you can pre-order the books now in my link below. I'll link it in the description. But yeah, dude, I gotta say, this book was the hardest of all 3 of my books. Absolutely the most challenging one to write. And it was such a strange process too. Like when I first started, so right after I separated from Steven in the fall of 2022, probably a few months into that separation, I was like, I want to write about this. I want to write about, the process of separation and divorce. And, I know with my mom brain, if I really want to capture my deepest thoughts and feelings throughout the process, I need to write now because I forget. I don't know about y'all, but I forget. I remember being postpartum, but I don't remember it. Thank you to Rocket Money for sponsoring this episode. Real talk, it's summer and time for vacations, and vacations cost money. And I was finally able to save up for a girls' trip to the desert this year because I'm using Rocket Money. And Rocket Money straight up helps you save money. It can track subscriptions and has the ability to cancel unwanted ones with the app with a few taps, saving users over 880 million in canceled subscriptions. And it can set budgets and goals, get personalized insights and regular reports, and receive real-time alerts for large transactions, upcoming bills, refunds, and low balances. Users who create a financial goal with Rocket Money save over $70 on average within the first 30 days. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitor your spending, and helps you lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/idiot. That's rocketmoney.com/idiot. rocketmoney.com/idiot. I called up my publishers and I was like, hey guys, I want to do a third book. And they were like, cool, let's do it. And so I started writing essays. I never thought this book was going to be like a fluff piece. I never thought it was going to be a Gwyneth Paltrow, Chris Martin, conscious uncoupling situation, but I did not know what was coming. Let's put it that way. So it was a really interesting process writing these essays because there were just so many twists and turns throughout the last 4 years, as most of you have seen. You saw it online. That's the other head of this whole divorce, was like my separation and the divorce process. It was all so public and very messy and very scary. And so there were, months while writing this book where like, I thought him and I were on good terms, and we were like making co-parenting sketches, and funny sketches about, the drop-offs and the pickups and him dropping off the kids. And I'm like, where's Poppy's one shoe? And he's like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, ha, 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 and there was that. And there was us, doing podcast episodes together, talking about what it's like to not be together anymore, but to have kids together. And then things got really scary. Things got so scary that I had to call my publishers and say, I need an extension on this book because I'm like fearing for my life right now. So this book is really raw because I wrote these essays in real time. And there's a lot of ups and downs, and you'll probably get frustrated with me at points because you see how dark it gets and then it gets light again. And I kind of go back in a sense. And there are a lot of themes in here. I write about codependency. Our relationship was so incredibly codependent. If he was sad, I was sad. enabling, addiction, not just addiction to drugs and alcohol, but to sex, to love, to fame, to money, to views, all of it, and it's not just my ex that is an addict. I'm an addict too. Two addicts. So it really went, it's a roller coaster. I'll put it that way. It's a page turner and I'm really proud of it. I'm also like very nervous about the world reading it because it's, so intense, this journey. But one thing I'll say is writing about the unraveling of my marriage, learning to love myself fully, becoming a single mom, having to deal with multiple courts, is that, I guess I'm more resilient than I ever thought. And also, I'm so not alone. I think this whole mess was made public very early on. And although that was kind of humiliating and destabilizing, it also provided me with a weird amount of comfort knowing that so many of you have experienced this, post-separation abuse and the ups and downs of dealing with the court system and co-parenting and restraining orders and all that. I'm just so not alone. I guess, it feels like such an isolating experience, but because this was so public, I was able to read thousands of comments from women saying, me too, me too, me too, me too, me too. And that was really cathartic. And don't worry, I made sure to make this book funny because I can't not make things funny. So you'll be laughing where you shouldn't. It's like a thriller comedy if I had to pick a genre for it. Horror comedy. But it's just so weird. It's so weird to be done. And I could have kept rewriting and rewriting and rewriting. That's why I love deadlines, because at some point you just gotta go, okay, it could always be better, but you want it out before you're dead. So just here it is, I'm going to just flip open to a page and read what comes up. I like doing that. That's how I know I'm getting old. My idea of fun now is like, pick a book and then randomly flip to a page. And that's the page you were meant to read. It's just fun. That's a fun game. Okay. We're playing it. So I'm going to flip to a random page in this book. And that page was the page you were meant to hear today, right now, in this moment. There are no coincidences. Okay. There are no coincidences. Ready? This is going to change your life. Seriously. 177. Not yet. I was waiting for the money to come in. This woman didn't live here. She didn't hear the screams. She couldn't comprehend the sensory nightmare that was the soap we couldn't rinse off. The horror. It wasn't her $3 million house turned Mad Max wasteland. Of course she was waiting. She had water. She had boundaries. I had neither of those things. The truth was, I had hired her so I wouldn't have to look at my money. I'd been avoiding my finances for years. For most of my marriage, Stephen handled the money. Well, our collaboration brought it in. He controlled it. When we divorced, I thought, I'll hire someone to take over so I don't have to feel stupid and scared about money anymore, which worked until it didn't. Until that evening, when I realized I had handed away my power with every bill I refused to look at. Until I stood in my kitchen, surrounded by shrieking, soapy children, and realized I had no clue what was going on in my own bank account. until I realized that being an artist didn't mean I could be financially illiterate. That being a woman, a mother, and a breadwinner didn't mean I could outsource my entire financial reality and then play victim when the faucet ran dry. I'd been living from massive paycheck to massive paycheck for a while at this point, burning through savings, paying the mediator 2 mortgages, mine and Stephen's, for almost 3 years after we separated. I had been keeping everything afloat out of guilt and fear and some twisted sense of obligation. Let's discuss. How are you with money? Are you in a relationship? And if so, who's dealing with the finances? Is it you? Is it your partner? Have you hired someone? How often do you look at what's in your account? Do you know exactly what you're bringing in each month, what you're putting out each month? Are you financially literate? Or are you like me was? Are you like me was? I would say today, I'm so much better. It's not even funny, but at this time, I had my water turned off from just not looking, not getting that bill paid, not overseeing my bookkeeper who was meant to pay all those bills. I just gave her the responsibility. I would never, ever do that again. And she's like, oopsie. Thanks to Rocket Money for sponsoring this episode. What's up, girlies? It's summer. It's going to be a fun summer, and thinking about my finances and setting a budget is the last thing I want to think about over what should be a relaxing weekend. Why does everything money related need to feel so stressful? If you want your finances to feel more like fun and less like a struggle, then it is about time to try Rocket Money. Rocket Money consolidates checking, savings, loans, and investments into a single dashboard to give users a clear view of their financial picture. It helps you automate savings that grow toward goals with adjustable amounts and frequency and a set it and forget it approach. It has an automatic transaction categorization across accounts, plus customizable categories and tags to reveal spending patterns. Saving up for the new bed, a new car, or maybe just a fun summer spa treatment has never been easier with Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower bills so you can grow your savings. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/idiot. That's rocketmoney.com/idiot. rocketmoney.com/idiot. On that day, I had my friend over who was also going through a divorce, who had a baby and a toddler, and we were bathing all of them, just all of them. So my kids were in the bath, her baby was in the sink, her other kid was in the bath with my other kid. Okay. We had 4 little kiddos in baths and showers, and then all of a sudden water stopped. It's like, what is going on? And Holly was like, the water's not turning on. Like, that can't be. And she goes, I did see a guy here earlier. I thought it was like a construction worker. I thought like you were getting something fixed. And I was like, no, that was the water reaper. And we just wiped off all the soap from them, and we went out for the entire day, took the kids out. This was during spring break. I think it was spring break 2024. And dude, what a dark time. We just took the kids out all day, and then by 6 p.m. the water was back on. But it's just, I think so many women experience this, where we just like push that responsibility on to our partners, or we have this narrative that's like, I'm not good with money. I don't like looking at it. I'm an artist. I just like to make art. I don't want to think about the money. And I was like that. There was a period in my career where I was making $100,000 to $200,000 a month, every single month. And I did not look at it. I knew because I would, negotiate deals and go, okay, I negotiated this brand deal. I could see on my, the back end of my social media, oh, I brought in this much from video. So I would look, but I wouldn't actually look at the accounts, and I wouldn't know how much was going out and how much was coming in. And when after the separation, I went through such traumatic, and it felt like the trauma was just continuing, that I felt anything but funny, just anything but funny. And for me, funny is money. And I wasn't feeling very funny. So I was running out of money. Yeah, it was a very dark time. I was also not wanting to hustle and grind the way that I had been for years prior. I never took a break. And I know comparatively, it's not like I'm working overnight 12-hour shifts at a hospital. There's jobs that are outwardly way the harder than mine, than being a professional clown. But I didn't take time off. I fucking vlogged my birth, and then was in a diaper writing my second book, and filming sketches about my situations. Just always. I think that element of addiction was very much real for me. I was maybe addicted to the success and just, the views and making people laugh, all of it. I was just obsessive about it. I didn't stop. And I had a partner who was obsessive about it too. And I had a partner where if I wasn't doing it, because he also had that addiction, I could feel his disappointment in me if I wasn't producing to my maximum capacity. I could feel that. And so I wanted to please him and feed my own addiction too, It all started from such a pure place. It was just my passion was always making people laugh. That's all I wanted to do since I was a little girl. And I finally found this way to do it where I didn't need to wait for people to hire me. I could just do it. And it was like heaven and so pure. But then, it becomes a business, right? And then you start acquiring things and mortgages and, crazy bills. And then you have babies, and then you're caring for them. And then the stress and the weight of all of that. It's not that it takes the fun out of it, but it certainly is more of a business, and it's way more pressure than when you're in your 20s and just doing it for the love of the art, and you've got a low rent and you're just chilling. You're not responsible for anyone else, it's different. So I think after this separation, I just sort of went into a depression, but I had to, walk through it all. And, I learned some really hard lessons. I'm kind of grateful that my water got shut off. I'm grateful that I sort of hit that bottom, because it took my water getting shut off for me to go, whoa, my life is unmanageable. And I'm not drinking or using, but the codependency, the enabling, that was so unmanageable. And I needed that to happen, to hit bottom and become, and have that gift of desperation, and it really is that GOD, right? Gift of desperation. I needed to feel the pain of that. And then what I did after that was I started scheduling weekly meetings with my bookkeeper, looking at my accounts, knowing exactly how much I had at all times. And, to the enabling, when my ex was in his addiction, and you think you're helping and you're not, you just never are. It's so hard. I think that's possibly one of the hardest things, is when your loved one is in addiction and you want to help them, but by helping them, you're just enabling. And then they're you're robbing them of hitting bottom, and I was robbing him of hitting bottom subconsciously. I wasn't like, I'm going to make sure you never hit bottom. No, I thought I was helping. I was not. It wasn't until I was in enough pain and hit bottom in a different way and filed for a restraining order. It wasn't until then that I could really start to heal. And that was the hardest thing ever. I was so scared. I was so scared of what he would do, of what would happen if I took action. And it did. It got worse after I did, but then it got better. And I write about all of this in here, but eventually, he was able to hit bottom himself. And I don't know that he would have had I continued to enable and we can be friends and co-parenting. We can do it together. So I just desperately wanted us to maintain a friendship and to be able to go to the park together as a family and, be able to help each other out and however we need, because we have kids together. I didn't see why we couldn't, but we couldn't because he was deep in drug addiction and making horrific decisions. And then the second I got a boyfriend, all bets were off. Then it became really scary. I think men feel so territorial over women. That's a generalized statement, not all men. But many men feel this she's mine, I own her. And even though we weren't together, the fact that I had a boyfriend infuriated him and made him spin into a total psychosis. So all those things were it was so hard. It's so hard to look back at this time. Things today, my life today, way calmer. I've got running water, doing well, my career, good friends. I feel a sense of calm. Life is still challenging as a single mom, especially to a son with special needs. But, my ex is 11 months sober now, and I'm just so grateful for the kids that they get to have their dad back in their lives. I did not know if that was going to happen. I really did not. So thank God for that, honey. Would you thank God for that? Suppose I can flip to one more page because this is such a fun game. So I'm going to flip to another page in my new book. What doesn't kill you makes you hotter. Okay. And not hotter in the shallow sense. I'm not talking about how big your are. I'm talking about hotter in knowing who you are, feeling whole and full and confident and capable. That's hot to me. Okay, we're going to flip a page, and whatever page I land on is a page that you needed to hear today. And this is going to change your freaking life. I can guarantee it. What's that commercial? It's this suit's going to look great on you. I can guarantee it. It's like a 90s men's clothing store. And he's like, I can guarantee it. You know what I'm talking about? Right. Okay. I flipped to, Men's Warehouse. It was Men's Warehouse. Yeah. And he's like, Men's Warehouse. You're going to look great in my suit. I can guarantee it. He's like, Men's Warehouse. You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it. He's like, Men's Warehouse. I guarantee it. You're going to look great. You're going to look great. You're going to look amazing in one of my shoots. I can guarantee it. Okay, so I flipped to page 47. Have yourself a merry little break-in. It was December of 2022, and I had just about 3 months of separation under my belt. Christmas was rapidly approaching, and pretty much all I wished for Santa to bring me was an end to the videos my husband was posting about our separation, and maybe a gift certificate to a therapist or a hypnotist. There was no escaping our new reality. Every Christmas card I opened was a reminder of what I had lost. Everything was addressed to the Clary Hilton family, Stephen and me and Poppy and Alfie. And even though their candy cane covered envelopes didn't let on, I knew everyone had seen the videos. But what else were they supposed to send me? Their friend / cousin / acquaintance whose marital demise was so incredibly public? The conversation about our separation had become more communal than a mall Santa's lap. So you know what? Photos of distant relatives, dogs wearing jingle bell collars were more than welcome. Now that's a crazy chapter, okay? And I'm not even going to say any more because you need to read the book. Or you can listen to my book because I narrated it. And I read you the whole book and I do all the voices and it's a whole experience. I should also say that I'm going to Chicago, actually Naperville, Illinois, to do like a book event there. So you can get tickets for that. It's on, I believe, July. I said December because of this. July 15th, I believe, but don't quote me on that. Look it up. It's at Anderson's bookstore in Naperville. And then I'm going to a bookstore in Santa Monica. I believe it's Zibby's bookstore in Santa Monica. So make sure to come meet me there, take a pic. And I think they're doing a whole Q&A thing, although it's really funny because I think they got Manon to do the Q&A for the Santa Monica one. And this, I'm sure, has not read the book yet, which is so funny. And I just feel like the whole Q&A is going to be us around on stage. It's just going to be that. They're like, can Manon Matthews do it? I'm like, absolutely. Absolutely. She's just going to be getting me into trouble, honey. We're trouble. You know that friend that you're just trouble with? Second you meet up with them, it's trouble. And you just egg each other on and get into trouble. Tag your friend who's trouble. Send this to your friend who's nothing but trouble. Hey, you're trouble. Whenever I see you, I want to get into some trouble. What else is going on? Dude, I don't even know. This thing is 4 years. What the does it say on the sleeve? From the comedian and New York Times bestselling author of Idiot, a new collection of essays about finding the funny even when your life is falling the apart. The world knows comedian and content creator Laura Clary for her hilariously unhinged characters, brutally honest storytelling, and ability to find humor in places most of us wouldn't dare look. But now, she's facing a few things even she didn't see coming. Her seemingly rock-solid relationship crumbling into a very public, very painful divorce. Yikes! Becoming a single parent to 2 children, oof. One of whom has significant special needs. Worst of all, she even started dating again. Ew! But instead of pretending like her life couldn't be better, Laura's putting it all on the table. Mess, madness, and middle fingers included. And this time, she's writing her own happy ending. A survivor of addiction, abuse, and even a regrettable flirtation with bangs. Laura reveals how we can break down, rebuild, and still find a way to laugh during life's worst moments. Whether it's waking up to find your career's work wiped from the internet, your date begging you to take a magic pill for your boobies, or getting your water shut off in the middle of bath time. I'm very nervous. Oh, I'm nervous for you to read it. I heard somewhere by my friend Vanessa, actually, when you want to say I'm very nervous, you swap it out for the word excited. So the next time you're like, I'm so nervous, just remember that and then swap out the word nervous for excited. Even if you're just nervous and you're not excited, just be like, I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited. Lie to yourself. I'm telling you to lie to yourself. When you have a thought and a feeling, ignore it and lie to yourself and to everyone else around you. If you want to be successful, that is. And I'm so excited for this book to come out. I'm not scared at all. I have no insecurities around divulging my most personal, vulnerable thoughts and feelings and events. I'm just excited. And then also, I'm giving away some signed copies of this book. So if you want to get a free signed copy, go to my patreon.com/Laura Clary. That's patreon.com/Laura Clary. And I'm giving away free signed books. All you have to do is sign up to my Patreon and then you can submit there. But you should sign up to my Patreon anyway, because it's awesome. I have newsletters every week, more essays, funny, crazy. And it's just like a really awesome community of amazing women. We're almost at 40,000 members and y'all are just amazing. Like everyone on there is so cool. And I'm like getting to know the people on my Patreon. It's actually a way smaller, more intimate platform. And I just really appreciate your support and your love and getting to know you guys. So Holly and I are going to be launching, I'm actually doing it right this time. It's not a book club. I'm sure we'll have books here and there, but it's more like a topic and discussion meeting that we're doing every week on Zoom. Because I gotta say, like through these last 4 years, which were the hardest years of my life, and I write about this in my book, that my women's support group was hands down the most valuable thing for me in my healing. It really was. Therapy's great. Family's great. The boyfriend was great. Like there were other tools, yoga, awesome, walks, cool. But my women's support group, just meeting for 1 hour a week, sitting down with a bunch of other women. There's a topic, you deeply share on it, and you deeply listen to others. So valuable in so many ways. You're laughing, you're crying, you're connecting, you're helping one another. It was the most powerful thing that I could have possibly done. And so I'm so passionate about these 1 hour groups where we're able to connect with each other that I want to make my own group. You don't have to be an alcoholic to join. See, my group is like for alcoholics, but this one is just for women. And I'm very excited to just have a cool, fun place to meet every week. So that's coming soon as well. Yay. I'm so excited. Okay. Again, What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Hotter is available July 14th. So any day, and pre-orders. Whoops. There's my timer. So I know when to shut the f- up. But, I gotta say that, pre-orders really help me because if I want to make the list, the bestseller list, it's off of pre-orders basically. So they're really important. And it's like, I could say, oh, I don't care about making a list, but I do because, I want to have the option of like maybe making this into a film. Like feel like people are finally taking YouTubers seriously as filmmakers, and it'd be so cool to dramatize this and make a thriller comedy, something like that. So it just opens up a lot of doors. So anyway, pre-orders are encouraged, and I love you guys so much. And thank you for listening to me ramble and babble. And until next week.